You know, I think every male has that fantasy of being James Bond, where he has like, you know, like his secret staged gun in his car, his fancy like Aston Martin or whatever. This scratches that itch. You know what I mean? Hey guys, it is 2026 and a return to the discussion of low vis has started to take place, which means this is a great opportunity for us to talk about a new product that we started carrying on our website. This is the Discreet rifle bag, and it is from our friends over at Tactical Theology. Now, I think this is one of the first times we've featured a product on the channel that isn't one that we necessarily make, or at least with it being the main topic of the video. But we started carrying these. We're supporting a friend, and he's helped us out a lot and kind of made a product that we really believe in and we really stand behind. And so we just wanted to talk about it, get some information out there, and of course, give you guys an opportunity to go pick one up on our website. So what is the Discreet rifle bag? Well, as you can see right here in front of me, it is a bag that is, as I'm sure you've gathered by the name, it's meant to carry a carbine. Now, I know that there are no shortage of bags out there that are designed to carry firearms that folded, right? I think everybody has kind of seen products like this. You know, this is one of my MP5s. You know, it's got a folding stock on it. I'm able to conceal it. I even have, you know, I got a 20-round magazine here for it. You guys have seen builds like these designed to be carried in a backpack. I thought about doing something with like a law folder or a Sig Rattler for this video, but I think that almost defeats the purpose of what makes this bag great, because there's a lot of design features in it that actually make it optimized for carrying larger carbines in a broken down configuration, and you know, kind of bypassing those guns like the Rattler, the MP5, the TP9. So we're just gonna get into it. So just getting into it, we'll pull out the upper. So this is a upkeep, upstop. It's made by Raven Concealment. You can pick up this bag with one of those added, but this is a suppressed 416, obviously adorned with FCD parts. But as you can see, I left the suppressor on here. This is a 416, so it is a little bit shorter. You can fit longer carbines in there as well. But this is kind of like my go rifle, right? If I got the call, you know, this is kind of going to be the carbine that I grab. And I just leave it in this configuration because, again, I'm able to leave the suppressor on there, and it's just all in one package. And what I'm able to do is take that upkeep, pull it off. Obviously, just my pivot and takedown pin. And there you have it. Now I have some supporting equipment in the bag. Now in the bag, there's an insert in here, and I'm going to pull it out in a second to show it to you guys. But I'm just showing you more so like the practical functionality side of things. I also have a 30-round magazine, a sling, and a 20-round magazine as well. So if I wanted to, you know, if this was in a law folder configuration, or maybe if this was like an MCX or something, I could leave a 20-rounder in there and have it be folded and have it just be perfectly staged. But again, not everybody has a carbine with folding capabilities, so I wanted to start out by showing you guys that you absolutely can do a setup with this bag and use this product without having to actually purchase like a specialty folding carbine or a law folder or anything like that. Those are all cool products. We support all those products. But again, I just wanted to show you guys the agility that you get with it without having to, you know, have a specialty configuration. So we'll talk real quick. It has a grip handle and a double zip design, right? So I can just grab this top zipper handle and I can pull it out, almost like if anybody ever like modded a Harris bipod that you could just pull by a piece of 550 cord, you know, very similar. I like that I can actuate both the zippers at the same time. It's very smooth, it's very fluid, and you can see I'm doing it here. You know, we're big on the economy of motion and the efficiency of the human body at FCD, but I like that I have a handle on this end that allows me to just grip it and pull it open. I also like that it's on the other side as well, right? So it gives me the ability to pull it shut that way. So these handles on the end are very nice. I use them a lot more than you probably would think I would, especially because this just like sits on a shelf, this little rack over here. This all with my carbine in it just sits on a shelf, and I can just slide it in and I can grab it by that handle and I can pull it out. That makes it really easy. If you've ever done like traveling, like with luggage or whatever, if you ever had like an overhead compartment, you know how easy it is to grab and pull. So I like that they included those on the end, and then obviously, you know, the carry handles. So let's talk about the profile of the bag itself. Now that you've seen that it actually can hold a carbine that doesn't have any like folding mechanism on it. What I like about this bag is it's just a black bag. For whatever reason, anytime a lot of companies set out to make a bag, and I get it, like bringing any product to market is expensive. You want to maximize the agility and target as many customers as possible with products, but with a lot of low visibility bags, there's oftentimes a mission creep that takes place, right? Where they're like, oh, well, I want, you know, the manufacturer's like, oh, well, you know, I'll just put like, I'll put a little place for, you know, a little field of loop on the outside for an ID patch, or, you know, I'll add a little bit of branding, right? Because I want my brand out there, you know, or they add some molly so that way guys can attach GP pouches. And again, I understand why companies decide to do that, right? They want to maximize anytime they bring a product to market. But what I like about the Discreet rifle bag is that they bypassed all that, right? So it is just a plain, flat bag, right? So there's really no way that anybody can see this. You know, when I see this, it looks to me, you know, obviously I make media, so it looks to me like something I would carry like a piece of camera equipment in, you know, like a flash or a backdrop or something like that. But it also looks like something that would not be uncommon at, you know, like a gym if you had to carry it for like some sporting equipment, or like a hotel. It looks like a travel bag, right? So that's what I love about it. Now, the thing I hear a lot of people say, they're like, oh, well, if you want a low visibility bag, you should just buy like a regular backpack, right? Like go to Target, buy a JanSport. I hear that all the time. And I understand the sentiment there. I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that train of thought. Well, actually, there is like one little thing wrong with that train of thought, which is that those bags do not have any structural support to them, right? They are affordable for a reason, and where the manufacturers have made that affordable is by minimizing the amount of material in it, which means that there's really no like padding or rigidity or structure to it. And that's what makes this bag different from a lot of those other bags, you know, that you could buy at like Target or whatever, is the skeleton that goes into it. So this bag actually exists in three parts. You have the exterior, which we've gone over thus far, and then it also has the insert and the divider. And those are parts that you can separate. Right, so I got the insert pulled out here. It's got some cat hair in it, obviously. So what this is the structure or the skeleton of the bag, right? So as you can see, it's very rigid, right? I could stand this up on end, you know, like a display menu. It's very padded and it's well insulated. And the reason that's important is that when you're loading your bag down with, you know, a 7-pound carbine, you know, when you're loading down this bag with whatever your carbine weighs, you're not getting any protruding shapes on the exterior of the bag. And that part is really important for low visibility. You know, we as humans, we have an amazingly like innate sense of space and weight. And so if we see a bag that has like one bulge just like protruding out one corner because, you know, you just dropped your muzzle in a JanSport bag, although the bag itself may be low visibility, because of the way the human mind works and is able to perceive like space and weight, we understand there's something heavy and pointy in that bag, something like a carbine. So the interior skeleton is probably one of the most important parts of this bag, which is why I wanted to take the time to pull it out and show it to you guys. The other cool thing about the fact that it is 100% loop lined is you can put whatever types of like Velcro accessories you want in here. So just as an example, I have like a Vertex magazine pouch where I could put that little 20 rounder, or like a Microbat Systems candy pouch. This one has a little E&E kit in it. Again, these are just examples, and I've barely started to use, you know, any of the two usable sides, because when this is in the bag, right, that's the side of the bag. And so it's a great place, especially for like repeatability and just the discipline of how you arrange your products. This is a great place to actually, you know, stage your gear. You could do other things, you know, like if you're just wanting to use like a little radio, you could get another little GP pouch maybe, like the Vertex ones, and just stage stuff in here. So again, I just did that for demonstrative purposes, so that way you guys can understand that it's not just, you know, like an oblong case. You get some more functionality out of it, and I'm sure you guys have plenty of Velcro patches lying around. So you could line the inside with this. The other really cool thing, this is very well designed, is this is the divider. And again, it's more of that just like padded, rigid material. And it's designed in a way to actually anchor at a 90, right? So it anchors to the insert on the bottom, and then it anchors to the bag itself. So the divider is not really going anywhere. And then what's cool is that there's this strap in here. And it's almost a little bit like a handle if you're adjusting it, but also, I don't know if this was by design, Josh, or not, but this gives me the ability to retain my muzzle as well if I wanted to, right? So I can retain my muzzle, have it be even more secure when it's in the bag. So I'm gonna get this all put back together, guys, and we'll finish up with some closing thoughts. Cool, so I got the bag put back together. We're just gonna run through actually staging another carbine in here. Instead of my 416, we'll do this 300 blackout, this PWS 9-inch 300 blackout here. And go ahead and make sure it's clear. Again, this is a gun that I could put a loft folder on, right? Or I could get like an MCX, you know, a 9-inch 300 blackout MCX or a Rattler. But we're just gonna demonstrate that you don't have to have that configuration to use this bag. So get the upper and lower separated. And as you can see, this upper has a pretty tall optic setup on here, right? I got a Wilcox Boss XE on a Unity riser. This on here. Right, so got the upper. And then the lower is even easier. And a magazine. And there you have it, right? So I'm going to address another criticism up front, which is that guys are going to be like, oh, well, now the carbine isn't in a configuration to where I can just readily take it out and start using it. If you have any type of immediate threat, right, I think, honestly, that's what your CCW is for, right? You should be able to just take out your CCW and use that. Your carbine is for when you have a little bit more time to like stage and prep. Again, that's just my personal opinion. If someone's shooting at me and I'm traveling with a, you know, any type of carbine, a folded carbine like my TP9 or my MP5, I'm still probably going to go to my handgun if it's just an immediate react to contact, right? 9 times out of 10, that's going to be what I default to, unless I have the carbine in a configuration where it's like staged and I can easily get to it. So I don't really buy into the whole idea. They're like, oh, you know, the emergency is so pressing that the carbine needs to be staged in a fireable configuration, but it is offset enough to where I could reasonably, in a certain amount of time, you know, get to this versus just going to my CCW. Anyway, while we're on the topic of low visibility, it's a great chance to show you, you know, like what could you pair with a product like this? To me, a carrier, you know, this is a Spiritus LV119, but something like a Faro Slickster would also work pretty well as long as you didn't just add like a ton of stuff to it. You know, some sort of like low visibility carrier that is pretty discreet that you could just like throw a hoodie on over if it was sitting in the car with you. You know, something like this would be a great way to have, you know, some extra ammunition, obviously some ballistic protection, and then just carrying some extra gear. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that as a way you could kind of like fill out this system if this is something you wanted to look into. The last thing I want to talk about, again, I think every male has that fantasy of being like James Bond with the hidden gun compartment in your Aston Martin. And this certainly scratches that itch a little bit, but on a much more practical note, it's easy to just carry this different places, right? A lot of gun ranges these days, right? If you shoot at like an indoor gun range, they're like, oh, if you bring in a carbine, it has to be in a case. Even if it's unloaded, even if it's in 2 pieces or whatever, like guys will get pretty strict with, you know, their range, which is their range. You know, they can do whatever they want, but this also just makes that super easy, right? You can bring it with you to the gun range. You can just throw in like your Ear Pro, some extra ammunition. If you're building out like a, you know, any type of like dope card or you're doing velocity measurements, your Garmin Zero can get tossed in here. So it's not just for like super secret spy mission stuff. You can just use it as a practical way to carry your stuff. And like I said, it's padded, right? And so you're not getting any like protruding shapes on any end of the bag, right? It just looks like, it looks lightweight, I guess is the best way to put it. It doesn't look like something that you put a carbine in. So anyway, that has been the kind of like the overview and our thoughts and what it's been like with our experience with the Discreet rifle bag. Where can you pick this up? Well, you can pick this up obviously on the Forward Controls design websites. We have been moving quite a bit of these, and so it's not uncommon that we go out of stock. If you can't find them on our website, or if you want to support them directly, you can purchase this directly from the Tactical Theology website, and I know our friends over at Revival Defense are carrying them as well. Those are at least the dealers I know of. If there's more, that's awesome. I'm sorry I didn't mention them, but those are at least the ones that I'm aware of off the top of my head. So that has been the Discreet Rifle Bag, guys. Thank you so much, and have a good day.